Recognized for an amendment.
Okay. Oh, I have an amendment at the desk.
Clerk will read the amendment.
I ask unanimous consent the clerk dispense with the reading.
Without objection, the gentleman's recognized to
Oh.
explain his amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This amendment that I am offering simply ensures that the FTC enforce the Robinson-Patman Act. It is a law that prohibits price discrimination when purchasers buy products in the same quantities as other companies. And despite being the law of the land for many, many years, actually since 1936, over 80 years, the FTC has failed to meaningfully enforce it for more than 40 years. This amendment that I'm proposing does not allocate any new resources to the FTC's budget. It simply requires that the FTC spend a portion of its budget to enforce the Robinson-Patman Act, which is already on the books. If you represent a rural district, the enforcement failure has had a profound impact, most notably on the grocery industry. Independent grocers, who were once the cornerstone of rural communities across the United States, have been abandoned to fend for themselves against the consolidation of big chains and dollar stores. And let me say, I'm not against big chains and dollar stores, but what we're seeing, this is just, we want a level playing field. Today's food deserts dot the map where communities have lost their only grocery stores. Alabama grocers tell me that this problem has nothing to do with efficiency. Instead, some large chains simply use their muscle to box out competitors and claim superior terms from suppliers, even when the independent grocers band together and when wholesalers claim volume discounts. As with all supply chain issues, the problem got worse during COVID-19. And the largest retailers cut to the front of the line, to the supply lines, leaving communities who relied on independent grocery stores unable to access basic necessities like toilet tissue, cleaning supplies, shelf goods, and even cleaning supplies. The problem is not confined to just groceries. Many other industries are impacted across as well as the retail, food, pharmacies, you name it. This is an amendment for businesses all across Main Street, whether it be restaurants, package stores, community pharmacies, beer distributors, convenience stores, booksellers, and even farmers and ranchers. I want to make sure that we address this in an appropriate way, and I would want to make sure that all of my colleagues can support this. I think this is a very common sense amendment, and because of that, I'm withdrawing it. But I would ask that we will work with the chairman to try to find some resolve to this as we move forward. Thank you.
The gentleman has withdrawn, but does any other member wish to speak to it?
Mr. Chairman,
Gentleman from Maryland is recognized.
I think the gentleman's amendment is pro-consumer and pro-competition. He withdrew it, but I want to congratulate him for the offer.
Okay. Do others want to address the amendment? Gentleman from Montana.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I agree the underlying amendment. I think in Montana, well, small grocery stores are out there, and predatory practices. I think we need to enforce predatory practices and make sure the small guys out there, don't get overrun. So I support the amendment and certainly look forward to working with you, sir. And Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Thank you very much. Mr. Bishop of Georgia is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I support the gentleman's amendment, and I thank my friend from Alabama for his leadership on this matter. My district in Georgia is confronted by very similar circumstances to what's going on in Alabama and in rural communities all across the country. Areas that once had independent grocery stores have turned into food deserts because these full-service grocery stores cannot compete on a level playing field, and unfortunately, they've had to close. It's not good for anybody, and grocery stores are the only retailers who can provide a full range of nutritious foods, which are vital to maintaining healthy people and lowering healthcare costs and enhancing health outcomes after medical procedures. I don't think I need to sell you on the importance of access to wholesome food, but that's why it's important to bring back enforcement of the Robinson-Patman Act, which is a law that promotes competition, lowers consumer prices, and gives independent grocers and small retailers a fighting chance to compete. Before I yield, I'd like to offer a bipartisan letter to to the committee for the record, hopefully without objection. This letter was written by Republican and Democrats from the authorizing committee, signed by 10 bipartisan members of Congress, urging us to designate $10 million for Robinson-Patman enforcement. And of course, this amendment that was offered would do that. However, it has been withdrawn, but we hope we can continue to talk about this and see if we can't find a reasonable way to resolve this issue that's in the best interest of everybody.
Just so everybody knows, we certainly will accept, my friends, if, as part of the official proceedings, we do not actually keep a formal record of these. There's not a stenographer here, so you can't go back. We do file papers, and so we'd be happy to take the gentleman's letter and file it with the official proceedings.
Thank you,
It'll
sir.
be there, but it's not quite a formal record. With that, I think the gentleman from Mississippi wanted to address the issue.
Very brief, I want to join the comments of the other members in support of this and would ask my good friend from Alabama to reconsider his decision to withdraw his amendment. And with that, I yield back.
Well, gentleman from Ohio.
Thank you. I appreciate the amendment that's been offered, and we'll look forward to working with my colleague to try to figure out how we can best make this work for all of us.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Gentlelady from Ohio.
Yes, I just wanted to add my support of working on this on a bipartisan basis. I've seen what's happened. I've lived long enough to see what's happened across my region, and I don't like it at all. And I know who's setting the price, and that it's harder for small people to compete, and we got to turn that upside down, or we're going to lose entrepreneurship across this country. People ought to be able to make it in their own stores when they put that much effort forward, and bring back local production and not depend so much on imports. And when we don't watch the international markets, we wipe out our own production in this country. So I'm very supportive of this and just wanted to join my colleagues in their very noble effort to restore a robust American agriculture and the retailers that move that to market. Thank you.
The other member wish to address the issue? I'm going to allow the gentleman, just if you want to make any final comments, having withdrawn the amendment.
Yeah, well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. As I say, we're just asking for a level playing field. This is not special treatment. It's these grocers, these small retailers across America that have really made America great over the last almost 250 years and in this country. And rural America is really the backbone of this country in so many ways. And for us to do away with the small-time retailer is, I think, does a real harm to this nation. And so I would ask that we would continue to work on this to find a solution to try to make sure we have a level playing field for these small-time retailers and make sure that the public is served as well. And I yield back.
Okay. The amendment is formally withdrawn, but you may say it again.